Hello and welcome to my craft room. Today, while using the vintage Victorian Shabby Winter Digital by A Jewel Design, um, we will be doing a layering stamp, a fabric flip, and maybe a couple more pages if time permits. This is the stamp I'm going to start using for the layering stamp. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's probably not in store anymore, but you might find it online. So we're going to take the largest of those. I was experimenting with which color. I didn't know if I wanted brown or the Victorian velvet. The Victorian velvet won over because I don't want this to be very bold. So what we're going to do first is bring our base page over and we're going to do a little bit of stamping on it. You want to kind of know where your other layers are going to be. So maybe we should go in and draw around this, because this is what will determine where our main stamping is going to be. And we'll just do this like there. That can always be erased. So let's get the stamping a little bit more here and go to it. Oop. I want to try to hide that blue. I don't know what I did. I had ink on my finger and that just kind of got me. All right, I think I'm going to go right there. Some of this will be covered up, but I'm going to go all around the outside of this with different, 2 or 3 of these different little flourishes. Oop, that didn't quite cover that, did it? So, I might be putting a snowflake there. I've got plenty of snowflakes. That's going to do the job for me. Covering up that blue. I cannot believe I got that on me. All right. Oops, my little bling over here is kind of affected me. How can I fix that? That's not that big. Okay, I fixed that problem with the bling sticking up by putting me a stamp block under there. Let's see how that works. And I'm going to turn this around and get what looks exactly like it did before, didn't it? All right, let's do this. Oh, ew. My bling is messing me up. Oh, well. Let's keep going and see how it turns out. Put that right there. There we go. All we need is the outside to be decent looking. That's good. It is shabby, so you can think of that. Since this is shabby, it does not have to be perfect. So that is our saving grace. Oh goodness. And as always, thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope November is treating you well so far. It's a little rainy at our end of the world today, but we may have needed that. I live at the lower end of the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. And it's pretty green over here for most of the time. Pretty green, which is a good thing. All right, so I have not gone to a different flourish yet, so I guess I'm only using this one. You probably wondered, when's the next flourish coming in? All right, let's go with a big one here, like that. Go right across the edge. Sometimes you don't want to keep everything so squarey. You want to overlap, you want to tuck under, you want to try to get them to work with each other, that kind of thing. All right, so what we're going to do next is this piece has been inked around the outside with both ground espresso and my Victorian velvet. I'm going to lightly glue it. Well, actually, this one can be glued all the way. Yes. Let me work this out in my head. I haven't quite done this before. So what we're going to do is we're only going to be gluing like a half of an inch from the edge, because I have a plan. When I did this one time before on the layering, it did not quite work out as matchy as I would have preferred. So I'm going to try to fix that issue. And we're going to make this a big pocket. We're just going to make it a great big pocket and have the ability of putting something in here since we're taking up so much real estate. And after I put this down, I can still put my snowflake, so I'm good. I'm good. All right. Get that down. Do a little pinching, just so it's easier to get your item in there. And before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and erase my little bit of pencil marks, because I can see it there and up here. Okay. Okay. I knocked off my trick I'm going to show you. So this is a piece of acetate, and this is what I'm going to use to go under the item. Let me see, go under here, and we can just stamp right over top of it, so it's not going to be messing up anything else. Plus it will skip the one layer there, which is what I planned. All right, now I got to figure out which way it went. There, that's that one. All right, and you try to match it up as good as you can, and try not to ink anything else. There, I think that's, yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. I need to be actually pressing in here. That's the part I needed it on. There we go. Yeah. Now all I got to do here is wipe that off. A little messy, but that's okay. You can use a wet wipe. That would probably do a better job. Now we're going to go along the side here. Now this is, when this is side by side with each other, which I could have skipped putting the music page in there, it's really sharp looking. It's a really great kind of a technique to do. Get that eraser out of there. Okay. And if I was mindful, I could not ink the part I don't need it on. If I paid attention. Okay, that was that one. Let's go down here to my corner. And this is which one? That one. Okay, so I only need it to be on the inside, not the outside. Let's stamp off. You can always do that too, instead of messing with your little rag or your wet wipe. See how that worked. Well, I needed it to be on the other part. Good grief. I don't think my brain's working quite yet this morning. Sorry, guys and girls. All right. We're going this way. And I've got it that way. That way. I need a little bit more ink. That's the only thing you got to do. You got to really make sure you hit your marks and match these guys up as close as possible. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get. All right, next. And I'm going to do this all the way around the outside. You can kind of see where I'm going. So I'll come back when I've got that all done. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. And I would like to have it go through the center here as well, to try to fill in a little bit of that room. Maybe like that. That would be perfect. All right. Oop. No, I didn't touch nothing. Sometimes my stuff drops before I want it to. Okay, right there I think would be good. There we go. Yeah, I like that. What do you think? That little bit. Oops. I did get a little bit here. I don't know how I did that. But we can now go under this edge here and finish gluing this down, because I did not want this to stick out. Although now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we could glue a few little goodies underneath of there, which we did need to put a few snowflakes. Let's do that. I'm always changing mid thought, aren't I? I did need a few little figures of some type on here, so this little pair of children would be good. And they're going to go right here. And this is a little ticket that came in the kit. I'm going to stick them there. And stick a little bit of glue under this lip here. There. That'll keep that down. And we had an admit one. We'll do that on the opposite side. I didn't ink that one, but I'm not worried about it. Well, I wanted to use that right there, but I think I'm going to end up still doing the snowflake. Okay. There's that. And I'll glue this corner down. I think if I just had the corners, I don't need to worry about anything else. Okay, there's that. And that. Okay. And I believe we're going to put us a little word here in this blank area. These are her vintage Christmas dictionary on her Etsy page. And this one has joy. I don't know if that's going to... Oh, there we go. Yes, it's like a dictionary meaning for joy. I figured these little kids were joyous that they were out of school. They might not be that old. Maybe preschool. All right, there we go. It needs a little bit of something. Plus this maroon kind of pulls in, gives it another shade that it needed. Now we're going to go for a snowflake to cover up my blue smear. All right, So I'm going to put a few snowflakes on here. Okay, I've got several snowflakes on here. And then I had, from the cutouts, I had these little punch-out pieces that were left over. So I made a poinsettia with them. And I stuck it on there in the middle of that one snowflake. And I have one here and I have one here. Now, here's the little dictionary, vintage Christmas dictionary. And for all of these things that I'm using and showing, they're going to be down in the description box. So just check down there and I'll have a link for all the items I'm going to be using. Now I wanted to show you another version of this. This is the first time I'd ever tried to do it. This is my tag book. I was making it in Miss Paints a Lot's journal group, and anyway, this is it. This was the word purple, I think, was our prompt. Yeah. And so what I did is I did 3 layers, and this one's kind of, distressed, but I did it in a glitter embossing. But that gives you another idea of how that looks if you wanted to do it a different way, a different style, different color. And if you'd like me to do a flip through of my tag book, just leave me a comment below and let me know, and I'll whip that up one day. Okay, on our next page, I will be doing a fabric flip, and I've never really done one before, oddly enough. Gail Augustinelli, she does one quite often, and she usually has one in each one of her journals that she does. I'm just going to ink that edge up just a little bit. This is one of the pockets from the kit, and I'm just going to use it down below here to have my little people on. Now I've got 2 layers. I've not really got much fabric. It's mostly netting. This one has some pretty gold feathers on it, and I thought that went with the gold points that I'm putting in here. And this here, I've heard some people call it flocking, but it's just netting with little white spots, and it looks like snow. But I got it at the Dollar Tree, and a couple months back, I believe. They had all kinds of different colors, but I thought that looked like snow. So this is what I'm going for. I'm going to have the little kids walking in the snow. And I'll have that maybe over it, and see, you can still see them. So let me get this cut down to size, and then we'll put it together. Okay, I think we're going to go with this. And I had that piece because this was an offcut. And so I'm going to just put it together like that. We'll put it down. I'll have my pocket. And then we'll put our fabric flip on there. That will be nice. Let's see. Let me get the little kids down first. I'm going to just put this dead center in my page. Nobody will see this part down here, so we don't have to worry about how neat it is. I love finding a purpose for all of these little pieces. It really makes you think you're getting the most out of your kits. All right, I think that's about center. There we go. Now I'm going to do a U glue. I've got an extra light in here, so if the lighting turns weird, I thought it would help me. But I think when I hold anything up close, it makes it turn yellow. I'm stealing all the lights out of the living room. Okay, I think right there, one of their feet, or most of their feet, to show. That works, that works. Okay. And the purpose of a fabric flip per Gail, it's to have a little secret journaling spot underneath. I don't know if this one is going to work in that capacity. I'm wanting it to be see-through, so you're not really going to get anything private. And I wanted to have another snowflake sentiment on here, so I'm going with this one. A snowflake is one of God's most fragile creations, but look what they can do when they stick together. And I thought of those two little kids sticking together. So we are going to get our stamp inked up. And this is such a light colored background. This should show. This is the Victorian velvet. As you can see, I'm really trying to stick with my color scheme in this book. And to have it really uniform in color. I may have had a little black still on this stamp. I can see it, but maybe it won't come out. And of course I inked up my edges before I glued these down. There we go. Well, that didn't turn out bad at all. Maybe I just thought there was some black on there. Okay, now for the part with gluing down our fabric. Whoops. The whole lid come off. I just wanted the cap to come off. We're using the fabric tack. And we're going for the flocked one first. And we're going to just go across the very tippy top. But I got to make sure I get it in the right place. There we go. Can you see? Yes. I've been trying to be more diligent on where I am when I show you things, but I've noticed I've been kind of off screen, especially when I cut. When I cut or when I glue, I have a tendency to go into the right. All right, this here was a makeup for masks. I got it from Unique when I worked for them, but it's silicone, so it's wonderful to put stuff down with, and it doesn't stick to this surface. It'll peel right off. I've heard of people going to different fabric places, not fabric, makeup places, and they have these inexpensive applicators. There's quite a few people that's been using things like this online. All right, how wide does this one need to be? It's about the same distance. Don't worry, we're going to cover up this part right up here at the top, so it is not seen, and you don't have to worry about that. And this one's very sheer. I love these gold feathers on here. I just think they're so beautiful. And we're going there like that. Smooth it down. It's got a little bit of an odor to it, this fabric tack, but boy, does it work magic. Okay, there we go. And I can come back and neaten up my edge down here. I might even cut it off a little more, I don't know. Now, I wanted to trim it at the top with this. I've got a pretty pale blush pink, and it's very sheer, so that would work out well. And I have this little guy that it kind of reminds me of a little snowflake. It's just a very small little flower, I suppose, but we're going to top it with that. I see people talk about tatting a lot, and this gave me the impression of tatting as well. So let's put us a fresh layer on here. Some of that's already sticking, I guess, because it's coming right on through. All right. Did I get enough on that end? I think I did. There we go. And take our little magic spatula, go back in there and push it down. Okay, that looks good. And go in with our last layer. I need to make sure I don't need to trim any off. If I need to trim any, I'm going to do that half flower. Yep, the half flower is going. Okay. Now, get that on here. And that will finish off our fabric flip. I don't know who came up with a fabric flip, but they are pretty neat, like especially if you do a sewing journal. Oh, wouldn't that be neat in a sewing journal? Figure out which my front and what's my back. I think that's the back. Okay. Sometimes you really have to look at your laces and figure out which way it goes. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but like in this case, you could tell it was a very definite front and back to it. All right, isn't that cute? And that made me think of snowflakes and that kind of stuff. And let's see. You could pick that up as 1 or 2. And I think I want them to stay even, but I do want them to be cut even. I believe I need to trim this edge here off. Yeah, I think that was a little off. They don't have to be perfect. I just could see that one sticking down. Oops. So, how do you like fabric flip? Isn't that cute? And we just did that kind of simply, just a little stamp. I may put a snowflake on here in gold to combine with my other look going on here and have it right beside my snowflake stamp. This is a small one. It won't take me long to dibby-dabby on it. And I think this will suit our purposes perfectly right here. Okay, and we'll do it right there. I changed my little wiper. I didn't want to get that pink everywhere like I did that blue off my finger that day. Okay, so that is that. I don't think we need anything else. We just did a definition. I don't know if I need to have kind or shine or something like that. I'm going to think about that. I may put something here and I may not. But if you saw something that inspired you to create in today's video, please give me a thumbs up or share it to your crafty friends. The 2 things we did was the layering stamp and the fabric flip. And I thank you so much for coming to visit and spend some time with me. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.